episode 8. This time around we're gonna be talking about the French revenge slasher torture horror movie Martyrs from 2008. But before we do that, let's welcome the cult members of the podcast.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay, how's everyone doing?
Doing all right.
I'm a bit brain dead today.
How about you, Tiger?
Doing okay.
No different than any other day.
Good. So, we're here again, slightly delayed because of, well, people being sick and shit. But anyways, so, has anyone watched a good movie recently? Or anything else, really?
Watched a couple.
Same here.
Just earlier today, I actually finished watching The Game with my friend James. It's a psychological. That's the word I'm looking for. Psychological thriller. Basically, the guy.
Isn't that the one with Michael? What the fuck is his name? Michael something.
Wonderful. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't really know the names of the actors in there.
Okay.
But basically the plot of the story is his brother's throwing him a birthday party, asks him to sign up with this group called CRS, and they take his life for one hell of a ride. I won't spoil too much because I thought it was a really fun movie, and if you haven't seen it, I feel like you should. I'll have to get the rest of the details from my friend James later for the movie. I'll relay it to you guys if you want to see it. The other movie was The Jacket with Adrian Brody, which I haven't seen in forever, and still is as great as I recall it being. And just a little bit ago, I finished up Day of the Dead Bloodlines.
Yeah, what were your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I didn't really put too much input into it since I didn't see it before, but I thought it was an okay movie. Lily's best character, hands down, no arguments. And that's basically it for my recently seen.
The actor is called Michael Douglas, by the way, in The Game.
I've rewatched Starship Troopers, and I hadn't seen it since it was like brand new, and it's still as awesome as ever.
Did you check out the sequels as well?
No, I haven't seen them, but I'm about to.
Okay.
Thought I've recently seen was supposed to be filled with like horror type movies. What? Is it Starship Troopers comedy?
Comedy?
It sounds more like sci-fi to me, really.
Yes, sci-fi action.
Yeah, it's a sci-fi action satire, sort of, but there are some horror elements in it as well, especially the second one.
Oh.
The second movie.
Yeah.
You know what? I think I got it confused with Spaceballs. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a comedy.
It's just I've seen the titles somewhere, and I was actually thinking about watching them. So
Yeah, you should. They're great movies.
Yeah.
Well, at least the first and fourth one. The second one is a little bit like almost like a stalk and slash movie. Almost. Did you watch anything more? Okay.
Yeah. I don't remember what it was called. I think it was like Insidious or something.
Oh, the first one.
Yeah. It was pretty meh. That's what I thought.
Yeah. Me and Angel watched the
We
the
watched,
three first ones,
yeah, exactly,
a
the
couple
three
of
first
years
one.
ago.
I rewatched them fairly, this spring. Um, d- Honestly, the only good one was the fourth one, the newest one, really.
Insidious: The Last
Yeah,
Key, I think it's
and
called.
when you actually watch them in the order you're supposed to watch them, they're kind of slightly better than when you watch 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
But nothing I recommend to watch, really.
The third one is a prequel.
Mm.
Is the fourth one a prequel as well?
Yes, it's a prequel for the woman they bring in to talk with ghosts and stuff.
Lynn Chase.
Yeah, exactly. It's a prequel to how she was brought up, pretty much.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's like a origin story of that character, then?
Pretty much, I believe so. If I remember right, it might be a combination of an origin and then like confronting what was bothering her as a child, if I remember right.
Okay.
Anyways,
Okay.
back to Ogge. Sorry.
Yeah. I haven't seen the fourth one yet, but yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, that's pretty much it for all I've seen. I watched a bunch of movie with Josef though last weekend.
The movies we were watching was the Spanish slasher movie Edge of the Axe from 1988, I think it came out. And it's basically about a psychopath running around in a small town hacking up people with an axe.
Pretty much your normal slasher with other means.
Yeah, it's very cookie cutter, and it had a couple of slow parts, but overall it was okay. There were a couple of pretty hilarious things in it, like in one scene a cop is like I'm gonna check this thing for fingerprints, and he's holding the item without protective gloves. Yeah, it's kind of stupid at a couple of times, but yeah. And the Greenskeeper are a slasher movie from 2002. It's a slasher comedy, and overall it's pretty bad. The acting sucks. The jokes are pretty face palm, and the story is very cookie cutter. But the gore is great. The effects are really good in that movie. But
yeah, I remember it now. It's pretty cringe.
yeah, a lot of the jokes are like shit. To be honest.
Yeah.
I think the movie got like 2.9 in rating on IMDb as well, which should say something about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you seen something, Angel?
I have been pretty much binging animes. I haven't really been watching any movie in that sense, but me and Zombie was watching a Serbian film because we couldn't find a good stream of Martyrs. This is like, okay, no, I'm gonna disturb you really, really bad here. Let's watch this movie because he's never watched it.
Just a quick question before you continue. Has everyone seen a Serbian film?
Yeah.
I don't believe I have.
Oh boy.
I'm not gonna say
you will, Tagger. You will.
anything.
I feel like I'm being threatened.
I rewatched Jigsaw for the first time since theater. It's still good. It's still very good. But as the very critical person I have become by watching all these movies, I can really see the false things they made in it, which actually kind of lowered what I thought about it before. But I'm a Tobin Bell fangirl, so 10 of 10. Besides that, I haven't watched any horror movies per
Didn't
se.
you rewatch Hot Fuzz as well? The Simon Pegg, Nick Frost.
Yeah, but that's not horror
And,
movies, so I didn't bring it up.
It is a horror movie. It's a what's it called?
British horror movie.
Well, it's
Yes, burn the British for having really weird horror movies.
yeah, it's a British movie. No, it's like Sean was a celebration of the zombie movies. Hot Fuzz is a celebration of the giallo movies, the Italian proto slashers. Have everyone seen Hot Fuzz?
Yeah. I've seen that, the whole... I think they call it the Corretto trilogy.
Yeah, the Cornetto trilogy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can count up. It's Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead, and End of the World.
Yeah.
In that trilogy. So, per se, it's not movies that goes like Lord of the Rings or Child's Play or Friday the 13th. They don't really have anything to do with each other.
No, it's just the some of the cast are in all three movies, and that it's the same director for all three.
Yeah, like Simon Pegg and Nick Frost are the main characters in all three, I think. Yeah.
Yes. Correct.
Well, I have actually also been trying to finish off The Walking Dead. I'm not sure if I remember if I mentioned it last time in last episode, but I finally passed where I left off last time I watched, and it's finally starting to get really interesting.
Which season are you on now?
I believe I'm on season 6. I will actually have to double check.
Ooh.
They are in on
Season 6 is really action packed. It's basically action, wall to wall with action straight through the entire season.
Oh no, then I'm gotta be like then it can be season 6. No, I'm not season 6. End of season 5. It's kind of a slow burner right now. I'm gonna try and pick it up and actually finish it off this time. Been watching anime and animated series, so I can lose it. But yeah, that's recently seen. Unless someone else has something to say.
Yeah, you forgot me.
Oh, I thought you picked up right after Ogge. No, okay.
Oh.
How about you? What have you been watching?
Oh boy.
Okay, here comes like 2 hours of just Josef talking about his movies.
Yeah, actually, almost. No, but what the hell? What was that?
Sorry.
Oh. Anyway. I went to the cinema and watched the latest chapter in the Conjuring universe, The Nun, the James Wan produced movie. It's very cookie cutter, and the basic plot of the movie is like a priest with a haunted past and a novice nun on the threshold of her final vows to God are sent there. They are sent by the Vatican to a secluded monastery in Romania after the death of a young nun. And they encounter some evil force in the form of this title character, the nun. And if you have seen any demonic, ghost possessed horror movies the last 15 years, you've seen The Nun, basically. It's very cookie cutter. Has anyone else seen that yet?
Seen which one?
The Nun.
I have not.
Okay.
Me neither.
Alright. The next one I saw was a Italian zombie trash movie called Virus from 1980. It's also known as Hell of the Living Dead, Night of the Zombies, and Zombie Creeping Flesh. It's a co-production between Bruno Mattei and Claudio Fragasso, which worked together on a couple of other movies, like after Lucio Fulci had to quit the directing job for Zombie Free, aka Zombie Flesh Eaters 2. Bruno Mattei and Claudio Fragasso took over the directing part, and the rest is history. And Claudio Fragasso are pretty well known for his really trashy movie Troll 2 as well, which is one we should cover sometime. I haven't seen it, but I've seen a lot of scenes from it, and yeah. Anyway, the movie is about a chemical leak at some sort of factory or whatever it is in New Guai, and this chemical leak turns its staff into flesh-eating zombies, and a 4-man commando squad is sent in to investigate the matter. And soon they run into a TV news crew who are investigating the same story. And, they soon discovered that the zombie pandemic has spread throughout the country. Oh boy. If this movie had been 30 minutes shorter, I think I would have liked it more, because a lot of the fight scenes just drags on and on and on and on. It's just tedious to watch, and I just was bored by the movie. And I usually like Italian zombie movies, especially the trashier ones, but this one was just so goddamn boring.
So it was pretty much a filler.
Yeah, there were scenes just like, what are these scenes doing in the movie? Just cut that shit out and make a like a fast-paced, trashy zombie movie instead of a 100-minute long borathon.
Yeah.
That's one I won't pick anytime soon, anyway. The next movie I saw was Virus from 1999. And I think you've seen that one, Ogge. Am I right?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah. It's the Jamie Lee Curtis and Donald Sutherland sci-fi action horror movie about an American tugboat who boards an abandoned Russian research vessel and encounter an alien life form that regards them as virus, which must be destroyed. This movie has been called one of the worst movies ever made, and I can't really understand why. Because the effects are actually pretty good. The gore is good. The acting is good. And I thought it was a fun popcorn horror movie. Like, I can't really see why people hate it.
I thought it was pretty good too.
Yeah, I think Jamie Lee Curtis has even said that that's the worst movie she has taken part of, as well, and I can't see it. I can't.
Same here.
Sure, it's not up there with like Alien or Predator or movies like that, but it's a fun time waster.
Yeah.
Okay, continuing on. We'll be here until 4. The next movie I saw was Bigfoot, The Lost Coast Tapes from 2012. And I watched this as a double feature with As Above, So Below, but I will talk about that in a minute. It's a found footage movie, and it's about a documentary film crew that venture out into the woods after an old man has claimed that he possesses the body of a dead Sasquatch, and they think it's a hoax, and soon they discover that the old man might have been true to his word. I thought this movie was pretty good, actually. Especially the ending, which I won't spoil, but it's a jaw dropper. Has anyone seen it?
I've never even heard of it until now.
Well, I'm not really a big fan of how's it called?
Found footage.
Yeah, exactly. So,
You guys should watch it. It's really, really, really good. It's actually one of my, probably one of my favorite found footage movies, to be honest. It's almost up there with Wreck, at least for me.
well, maybe. Okay, I will say maybe I'm watching that actually.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, if you bring it up to rec level, then yeah, sure. It's probably worth watching.
And the next movie, as I said, was As Above, So Below from 2014. It's also a found footage movie. And the guys behind this one also directed and wrote the Quarantine remake. Oh, well, the Wreck remake, which is called Quarantine. And they also directed and wrote the Poughkeepsie tapes, which is one of my favorite documentaries.
Yeah, isn't the Poughkeepsie tapes supposed to be really good?
Yeah, it is. It's really chilling.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, I I borrowed that of you, but I never got around to actually watch it. Facepalm.
Anyway, As Above, So Below is about a team who ventures down into the catacombs under Paris, and well, they basically, they basically venture down into hell, the 9 circles of hell, or however many circles there are.
Yeah, it's 9.
Yeah. Okay. Boy.
A lot of circles. Yep.
Nothing wrong with a good circle now and then.
Anyway, the movie, if I remember correctly, the first half of the movie were pretty creepy, and the second half just nosedives. It just becomes, it just becomes a mess, and I actually had to read up on the movie. What the hell was going on in the second half of the movie to understand it. This is the guys behind the Poughkeepsie tapes and Quarantine's worst movie, in my opinion, hands down.
Well, like when you start talking about the 9 circles of hell, it piqued my interest. But if you think it's bad, it is probably actually bad.
Well, the first half is, like I said, pretty creepy. It got a couple of moments that is pretty startling, and well, it's an okay one-time watch, I'd say. The next movie I've watched is a South African slasher movie from 1989, which is called Return of the Family Man. And it's about a group of tourists who comes from different corners of the world, who are planning to stay in an abandoned house, which is really run down. Why they want to stay in that house, can't really understand. And this house happens to be the place where an insane serial killer called the Family Man massacred his complete family 10 years ago. And during a transportation with the prison bus, he breaks free and returns to the house and starts to kill off the cast. I can't really remember what I thought about this one. It was actually a rewatch for me. It got some cheese, and most of the kills are off screen, which is kind of boring. But the cheesier parts of the movie are pretty good, and well, it's an okay one-time watch as well, I'd say.
But you know, what kind of cheese was it? I just had to. Okay.
Okay, the last one I'm gonna talk about is an American-British co-production, and it was directed by a Japanese director, the same director who did The Midnight Meat Train. And it's called No One Lives from 2012. And oh boy.
Wait, what's it called?
No One Lives.
Oh.
I fucking loved this movie. It's about a gang of ruthless highway killers, or like thieves or robbers, who kidnap a wealthy couple traveling across the country. But they find out that the man of the couple is someone they don't want to mess with, and mayhem ensues. Yeah, what can I say? It's gory, it's fun, it's violent as hell, and what's he called? Luke Evans, I think, is in this one. He was also in Fast and Furious 5, 6, and 7. No, 6, 7, and 8. as well, and he was also in the Hobbit movies, and I guess none of you have seen it.
No, but it sounds interesting.
Yeah. No, I haven't seen it either.
Okay. Whatever you do, don't watch the trailer, because the trailer pretty much shows every plot twist and turn in the entire movie. So if you're gonna watch the movie, just watch the movie and then watch the trailer.
Yeah, but really, pretty much all the movies that are released from, let's say, 2010 and up to now, they only show the plots, the good parts, and the rest of the movie is usually shit.
Well, this one takes it to the extreme.
Oh.
I mean, really, the extreme. They show exactly everything in the trailer. So, like, if you don't have the time to watch the entire 90 or whatever minutes of the movie, just sit down and watch the trailer and you're fine, basically.
Wow, good trailer.
Whoever edited that trailer is a shithead. Anyway, that was my recently seen.
Yeah, so that was Joseph's half hour of talking about movies. Okay, so let's go on to the trailer.
One thing.
Yes.
I couldn't find any English language trailers for this movie, so the language will be in French.
So everyone listening, go take a French class, then come back and listen to this, okay?
Fuck France.
Ooh.
It can be learn languages for a trailer.
But, you know, Tiger, we actually have to be nice. There might be people from France listening to us. We need to embrace all the lands out here.
We're not that good yet. We're not gonna get international viewers aside
Yes,
from
we
America.
are! Hey, you know, there's people who legitimately go back to the first episode of things just to listen for everything. Or watch everything, whatever it is.
Well, those people are crazy.
Oh, I feel so offended right now.
Good.
Okay, anyways.
Elle était enfermée dans une chambre froide. Elle vivait là. Elle n'a pas été violée, c'est une certitude. Lucie ne raconte pas ce qu'elle a vécu.
Pourquoi tu crois qu'on a besoin de toi?
Lucie, vous voulez attraper les gens qui ont fait du mal à Lucie?
C'est ça, Anna.
Elle sait pas qui c'est. Il faisait tout noir. Elle croit qu'elle se souvient, puis des fois non.
Qu'est-ce qu'elle te dit d'autre, juste?
Elle a peur.
Elle te raconte des choses?
Elle dit qu'il faut les attraper. Qu'est-ce que t'as fait? J'ai juste les faire. Lucie, tu devais les observer, t'étais pas sûre. C'est eux alors. Lucie, ça fait 15 ans. Mais je l'ai vu. Je l'ai fait. Regarde, je l'ai fait. Où est-ce que t'as trouvé le fusil? Ça se trouve pas en dessous. T'as fini? On s'en va. Elle est là. Elle est dans la maison.
Lucie Jurin nous a échappé il y a 15 ans, n'est-ce pas?
Je les ai tués!
Lucie n'est qu'une victime, comme toutes les autres. C'est si facile de créer une victime, mademoiselle, c'est facile. Le monde est ainsi fait qu'il n'y a plus que des victimes. Les martyrs sont très rares.
Pourquoi tu l'as défendu? Elle a fait du mal à moi. Tu m'as jamais cru. Je pense que je suis faite comme les autres. Arrête. Lucie! D'où je vais m'en sortir?
That was the trailer, and let's go over to
New month, new me. I'm offending everybody.
15 years after horrifying experience of abduction and prolonged torture, Lucy embarks on a bloody quest for revenge against her oppressors. Along with her childhood friend Anna, who also suffered abuse, she quickly decides, without hope, into madness and her own delusions. Anna, left on her own, begins to re-experience what Lucy did when she was only 12 years old. So I watched this movie for the first time, like, let's see, it's 8 years old now. I think it was 7 or 6 years ago. I found it in Joseph's room, and I'm like, hell yeah, I'm gonna watch this. Started up in French, and I could barely speak English back then. Great. And it was not as good as I remembered it, but it was still pretty good. This is probably the least critical I will be so far. Thought actors were good, at least adult actors. Plot was good, end was good. Yeah, it was just good. Out of 10 cult members, I would say it's a solid 7. And that's pretty generous for me, really. Let's throw it on Ogge. What did you think?
I liked the first half, but the ending kind of killed the movie for me.
The torture scenes.
Not so much the torture scenes, but they were pretty pointless. Like, they beat the shit out of her and then skinned her alive, and then she just died. That's the latter half of the movie.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
She didn't die. She was just in a state of quote unquote witnessing.
we will going deeper on that.
Yeah.
Continue
on. Sorry, Ogge.
Yeah. Well, to me it felt pretty pointless. Like, yeah, she was in a state of witnessing, but I think it's more like delirium after getting the shit kicked out of you for like a full week and then being skinned alive. So, yeah.
That's a pretty interesting point, actually. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Well, that's what I think just happened to her.
Yeah, well, really, just look at it. Let's say it would be a real thing. Is probably what would happen, really.
Yeah.
Because like the amount of beating that she gets would actually probably break something in your head.
Probably.
Eventually, really.
Yeah. And then I think like the idea of like the plan of the villains were pretty stupid. Like they found pictures of people dying and they're like, oh, I gotta find out what they see. So let's get a bunch of girls, torture the hell out of them and ask them. And we're gonna spend all this money, like we're gonna have this huge powerful mob empire. And then once you find out, like, I'm just gonna kill myself. Yeah.
So, did you like the movie or hate it or?
I thought it's a decent movie if you want to see some like torture scenes. The first half was pretty good, but the second half kind of, to me it felt pointless. So it ended up being a okay movie. I also watched the remake, and it's like the second half is a bit different since. Okay, I'm just gonna spoil it, but in the remake, one of the girls doesn't take suicide. She gets kidnapped by those guys. So the other tries to rescue her. And that's pretty much the second half of the movie. And yeah, so for me it had a bit more of a purpose of, you know, what they were doing there and so on. But the ending was pretty much the same. Like, you didn't find out anything more in the remake.
Yeah, I've heard that the remake is pretty shit.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about it the other week that I should have like brought it up to do a double sode on both the original one from 2008 and on the remake from 2015.
Yeah. Well, I think the remake is better than what most people say. It's the main flaw is that it's kind of
unnecessary.
Yeah, unnecessary, and it kind of struggles with pacing a bit. I mean, it's too fast, so there's a lot of scenes where like, wait, I don't, where you don't follow the story.
Okay.
It's like they edited some scenes out or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they should probably made it a bit longer to make some sense out of it.
Yeah, they could have changed lots of the filling parts and made that make more sense rather than make it longer. Because I mean, as you say, like some of the parts are just filling, like where they beat living shit out of her. Seeing it from that point of view, it feels more like, oh, we have this amount to fill out. Let's do it with this. But I understand your point.
Yeah.
So do you have any more to say, or?
Nah, that's pretty much most of what I had to say. What about you?
For now.
Yeah, for now. What about you, Tiger?
To be honest, I wasn't really too. I wasn't too engrossed into the movie. It just didn't feel like. It didn't seem as it didn't really seem that enjoyable. The first half seemed a little slow, but it did start to pick up. But towards the end, I just wasn't really interested anymore. Everything just felt like, at least every time I looked back at it, It was just somebody getting slapped. I was just like, okay.
Slap the movie.
Basically, a slap to wake up, a slap to
Go back to
for
sleep.
somebody to shut up, a slap to go back to sleep, a slap to speak. It's like just rename the movie Slap and I'd be fine. I like the reasoning for them to go back for their revenge, but I don't know. I felt like this was one of those movies where it's like nobody really wins. She wanted to go back for revenge, but I guess she ended up not so much dying, but like not winning either. She lost her friend, and then she quote unquote ended up dying as well. The what are they called? The kidnappers and the torturers didn't really seem all that interesting. I feel like I guess they were supposed to be doing it for religious reasons, based on how the main lady looked. She looked like some kind of church priestess or whatever. Sorry, not priestess, nun. But I don't know. It seemed silly. As far as ratings go, I'd give it maybe like a 4 or 5 weirdly faced nuns out of 10.
Yeah, okay. Ogge, you never said what you gave it.
2 out of 5.
And the remake?
The remake is 3 out of 5 bitch slaps.
Okay, then we go to Joseph. What did you think?
Oh boy.
Okay, guys, we're gonna be here for another half hour with just Joseph talking.
Yes.
If you don't like that, skip ahead 30 minutes. Okay, no. Continue.
Yeah. The first time I saw this one was back in 2010. And according to my old review of it, I thought it was an okay movie. And I've rewatched this movie 2 times this week for this episode. And the first rewatch, the first rewatch I did of the movie, I was like, "What the fuck am I watching?" And to be honest, if I had seen this movie like 15 years ago, I'd probably have loved it. But as I'm getting older, I'm like started to like more quote unquote fun horror movies than quote unquote shocking ones, like extreme horror, so to speak. And I'm pretty much on the same page as Ogge and Tagger. The first 60 minutes of the movie are good, and then the whole movie just nosedives up until the last 5 minutes, when the old lady, aka Madame Muswell,
well, they really just says, yeah, exactly, Mademoiselle, a very normal French word for high-sitting women, pretty much.
Yeah. Up until the point when she shoots herself. It takes a nosedive up until that point of the movie. From the beginning of the massacre at the house up until the point when Anna starts to get tortured are the best part of the movie. Lucy's hallucinations are pretty disturbing as well of the tortured girl, who she thinks is like cutting her with razor blades and such. But yeah, the entire movie just grinds to a halt for me when the torture starts. I think if they had cut down the torture parts, the scenes, with like 10 minutes or something, and just made it into a quote-unquote compilation of scenes, just so you understand what is happening, and if they hadn't dragged it out for like 15 or 20 minutes or whatever it was, I think I'd appreciate that part of the movie a lot more than I did, because I can't find any enjoyment whatsoever in that kind of torture. Like, I can't really understand people who likes to watch extreme horror movies where someone is beating up a teenage girl until she's like just a what's it called?
Bloody pulp.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, but rating wise, I'd say the first hour and the last 5 minutes, it's 6 out of 10. The torture part is just too long and too dragged out for my taste, so that part I would give it like a 2 out of 10. But overall, I'd say 5 out of 10, I guess.
The actors who were the children, I didn't find, I believe, Lucy being that how's it believable. She didn't feel believable, really. It felt very forced, in my opinion, but I guess I can't go too hard on it since it's children acting, and yeah.
Oh,
children.
you're talking about the young Lucy.
Yeah, the beginning of the movie.
Okay.
Yeah, where Anna finds her in the bathtub, and I'm kind of like there. Why aren't an adult looking for her? Because this man comes in, it's like, we can't. Lucy didn't come to dinner. And nothing more. They don't say we can't find her or anything. It's just like Anna goes looking for her and finds Lucy with scars on her arms in the bathtub, crying like a little bitch. It's like I didn't feel like it was believable, because like I have seen children who act like they have been in traumas like that pulls it off so well, but no.
Not to cut you off, but I think that scene is in there because they want to show how strong the bond between the girls are.
Oh no, of course, I can understand that, but it's just, for me, they are living at an orphanage, and if a child just disappears, adults should be looking, not well, now I don't really think that they send out Anna to go look for her on her own, but still, because let's say that a child would find their friend at an orphanage, like hang themselves or something. That's fucking traumatizing. It's a movie. It is a movie. But still, I'm very critical to that. And this scene in the middle of the night where you first see the creature. It wasn't scary or anything. It was unsettling. Because we accidentally watched like the first 10 minutes of the remake. And that was slightly worse than the original one, in my opinion. The beginning, the massacre at the house, when they jumped like, what, 15 years in. That was...
yeah, that's one of my talking point as well. We can discuss it more.
I'm just gonna rough it out. I love seeing people die, at least in movies, so that was fun. But in like the first kill, the man, the father of the house, he legit stands there for a little bit too long. Because like she pulls the trigger, she shoots him, he stands there for what, 3 seconds and then flies. It's like, no, not logical. I think too logical when I watch movies, but
you really need to suspend disbelief. Like,
yeah.
Let me just ask: if you watch a Friday the 13th movie, do you really question the what's it called?
That Freddy keeps not Freddy.
Freddy.
The Jason keeps on coming back.
Yeah, like that can't be happening. This movie is shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like after what the third movie, where the actual killer is like, this is unlogical. This movie sucks because he can't come back. No, it's just like some movies, like slashers. I take them as unserious as they are. I just bash in heads, kill people in all the fun ways. But movies like this, where it's I believe it's more psychological horror rather than actual just bloody horror. I love that kind of horror in a different way from how I love slashers. So I tend to look at it more like it should be more serious, but that's just me. Anyway, getting off track. This like mayhem scene where she kills everyone. It's like, yes. And then this being comes again. The torture girl, and we were discussing it a little back and forth, me and Zombie, and he said that it might be. No, I'm no doctor, he's no doctor or anything, but it might be, what's it called, schizophrenia or something, where she believes this person is there hurting her, but she's doing it to herself. And now, I'm not sure how schizophrenia works. It sounds kind of logical. Because, I mean, like, you get to see her cut herself, and that's... Oh, fuck me, that's so unsettling. Ugh.
Well, the quote-unquote being is an hallucination, and they make it pretty clear that it just isn't a hallucination. In the scene, let me see here, just before she throws herself out through the window and cuts her throat. You see it in, like, blink it and you miss it moment that she is the one who's cutting, even though she thinks it's this tortured girl.
Oh no!
Who does it.
That's what I was bringing up. Like, that she thinks it's there, but she is doing it to herself. Because I mean, you do get to see her when she sits in the hallway cutting her own arms. Like, you get to see, but I think it's, as you say, like a blink moment where you see the being. Then it flicks over to Lucy doing it. Then it flicks over to her running out. And that scene is like I love seeing people die and everything, but people cutting themselves, no.
You sound like a goddamn psychopath.
Yeah.
Maybe I am. But this being, the person playing this being, I didn't check up who it was. I think she does a really good job at acting like, I don't know, it's something about her. I love the way she acts. It's great.
Did anyone else think about The Grudge when they saw her?
Yeah, the first time I saw her like crawling around in the bathroom, that was like, that's taken for The Grudge.
Oh, speaking of The Grudge, the way I forget who it was. I think it was Lucy, who was just like beating the shit out of that one lady with a shoe. I thought that was funny as fuck.
No, it's not a shoe. It's a sledgehammer. It's a smaller sledgehammer.
Oh.
Yeah. That's why she bashes her head in, because the mother of the family still lives, and Anna tries to cover it up, and she locks Lucy into the little girl's room, and tries to get the mother out of there. But she makes too much noise, so Lucy noticed that, something is wrong, comes in with a sledgehammer and start bashing her head in. But yeah, I love that scene too. Sarah, the girl she saves from the basement, she does also a very good job acting. And stuff like that.
She's one nasty looking girl.
Oh, she is, yeah.
The scenes with Sarah is fucking disgusting, to be honest.
Yeah, that's the time where the movie really disturbed me.
Yeah.
That's kind of my favorite scenes too from the movie, because it's so disturbing. And it really has it's disturbing in a way where it's because you start imagining what they did to her. That's the most disturbing part. And there's also like a purpose, since they're kind of explaining what they try to do with her, since everybody got hallucinations. So they explained that they made that helmet to close her eyes to figure out if she would start hallucinating.
I didn't actually think about that. I was actually wondering why the hell she had that helmet, but yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, they explain it very briefly.
Yeah, it's also one of those blink and you miss it moments. I did think about it, and we were talking about it, and it's like, I figured, okay, they're trying to close out all the light for her. That was what came to my mind. And it's so disturbing when she finally gets like the helmet off her, and it's like the front part of the face, forehead and everything is just like slimy and bloody, is so nasty.
Fucking gross.
Yeah,
that's fucking gross.
She's had that helmet for so long, so it's kind of grown.
Yeah, exactly.
Grown into her.
Yeah, like you have something pressed to your skin for years, it starts to kind of like become a part of you, which is really disturbing. Another scene with Sarah that's really disturbing, in my opinion, is where she tries to get her own skin off.
When she cuts her
wrist and like tries to pull with whatever she's cutting herself with. That, oh Christ, that was so disturbing.
But the old lady tells Anna that Sarah was having hallucinations about insects like cockroaches and crawling on her skin. And she, if I remember correctly, she says something like she'd rather cut off her arm than having them crawling on her or something.
You sure she said on and not under?
I think she said on.
Yeah, because
on her skin.
Yeah, because in a lot of movies where people try to take their own skin off, it's because they see or feel something crawling under the skin. But Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but I think she saw on.
Okay. Yeah. Well.
Said on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense because you could probably see your arms through that helmet.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
the small part, like right under her shins, where she can like look at least down. The beating part, as we have been discussing, that was just really boring. Nothing too interesting.
Like I said, if they had trimmed it down with 10 minutes and just made it into a quote-unquote compilation,
Yeah.
so the viewer knew what was happening to her.
Yeah, because I believe the torture part was straight off 20 minutes long. Because we did like poke the mouse to check like how long is it left on the movie, and it was about 20 minutes.
Yeah, I think it was between 15 and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Until they bring her into the surgical room.
Yeah, because then it's like 5 minutes left of the movie. The discussion part of where they tell her about this, where they bring out the book and everything. Let's see, look at her eyes. What can you see in her eyes? It's like a blur. Like I can't see her face even.
Yeah, yeah. I was actually thinking about that as well. Like, what?
Yeah.
What am I supposed to see?
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, it's like I
It's
don't
like-
know. Yeah.
It's like they were Googling life after death and saw those images. And then they came with the idea like,
You know, we're gonna make a cult out of this.
yeah.
I have 2 parts of the end plot, but I don't know if I should bring it up now or if I should bring it up after everyone has said their opinion on both stuff, because this might change some opinions.
The Tagger and Ogge, do you have any scenes you want to discuss, or has Angel already talked about them?
Yeah, I picked part of the movie so well that no one can discuss it.
Well, you actually covered most of the things I wanted to talk about, so...
This is the bad part about being siblings, liking the same kind of movies, and being in a pod together.
A what? In a what together?
In a pod.
In a podcast.
Yeah.
Oh.
What were you saying?
I don't know.
Yeah, Tiger is just sleeping through the episode, and sometimes when we mention his name, he comes in. He's like, "Huh?"
You hush. Only scene that I really thought to mention was the scenes where they showed the girls with the scars all over their bodies. I actually had difficulty watching those scenes. Other than that, I think you guys covered everything.
The first, do you mean the torture scenes or?
No, not the torture scenes, but like, well, maybe those two. But mostly when like they were walking around. I think it was one of the scenes where she was naked. She was walking around. And she had the lacerations and stuff all over her body, where it looked like her body was being like pieced back together.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean where Anna is stitching up Lucy?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, I had a slightly hard time watching that too. If I'm gonna be honest.
I was almost falling asleep during those scenes.
Yours is all over there. It's like pussies, and we're like, no, yeah.
Okay, do you have any scenes you want to discuss?
I think I've already said about them.
Okay. I got one thing you haven't mentioned, Angel, and that is,
I just gotta cut in. I have a very good comment here. that I actually forgot. I had to scroll down to look at everything. Is after a massacre, she sits out on this kind of porch thing, swinging a little bit back and forth, and here comes a really nice comment that somebody just outbursts. Lucy's sitting outside, just looking like, "Get off me lawn," but with a very, very thick British accent. "Get off me lawn," like a redneck.
Oh, get off me lawn.
Yeah,
oh,
get off me lawn.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Get off me lawn.
Yeah, he's like the woman who says, "Get out me car," but with lawn instead. Yeah, you get what I mean. I thought it was hilarious. I just had to mention it. Sorry for interrupting. Continue.
Yeah. The only thing I have left to discuss besides the ending, I want to discuss that as well, is the part when the mother, I can't remember what her name is, when she wakes up, that's just ridiculous. She should have been dead.
Yes.
Really, really, really dead. What do you guys think about that scene?
I can go last, because I have actual logical things to say about it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Tiger?
we're just gonna be illogical? How dare you? Honestly, I don't really know how I feel about that scene.
Okay. Ogge?
Yeah, same here. I mean, I agree.
Okay. Good talking point.
Yeah.
Well, if you're gonna look logical at this, she gets shot in very vital organs and stuff. So, okay, logical thought, you should go into shock. And
She should have been dead.
I mean, like, you go into shock first of all. Like, okay, sure, it's a small chance that you might survive. Like, you go into shock, your body goes into shock. But thinking about what organs, it's like all organs of her gets shot. So, she would bleed out or die from shock.
Yeah.
Or getting shot. But still, she shouldn't be fucking alive at all.
Now that I think of it, I don't think you would pass out and then wake up like that from being shot.
No.
No.
She
like your
should
whole...
be on the ground screaming, and then
Yeah.
like passing out of blood loss.
Yeah.
Like it's
And
not
then
like
bleed out.
yeah, it's not like she got knocked out or anything. She got shot in the gut.
Yes, like you get this massive shot, you get shocked, you start screaming, and then you die. But
Usually I can use suspension of disbelief in horror movies, but like you said earlier, Angel, this movie is kind of sort of realistic at most points, but then they throw in something like that into the movie, and it's basically just to make a suspenseful scene, basically, even though it's totally illogical.
yeah, they feel a need to throw in something to fill out. That goes on for like 5 solid minutes.
Yeah, to pad out the running time.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of like bringing the cult in earlier and things like that, or bringing Sarah earlier, they feel a need to fill out. But yeah.
It kind of sounds like we hate this movie, to be honest.
Very true. This like something I thought of too. Now we're talking about it. Well, most parents in movies, they react to their children being dead, and like her daughter is like laying right on top of her. Should be screaming on the top of her lungs about it, not just.
Anna tells her to shut the hell up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think she's pretty delirious because of blood loss as well.
That's weird.
Yeah, she was barely even conscious.
Yeah.
Yet she still could scream, but she was basically unconscious.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else, or should we leave the subject?
Yes. I got one last thing, and that's the ending. To be honest, I like the ending because it just leaves the viewer with you have to think about what did Anna say to the old lady, and why did she shoot herself? Okay, what do you think about it?
I have I have two theories, but I think what they were going for was that she did see that afterlife, and basically she said it was beautiful and everything. So the old lady wanted to go there, so that's why she killed herself. The other explanation, which I think is a lot more likely, was that she pretty much told her to fuck off. And
it hurt her feelings so bad that she had to die.
It made the old lady realize that this was a stupid idea and it was completely pointless. And if she were to tell them, they would have killed her themselves. So she did the job for them. Yeah, that's my theory.
Angel linked to a review of this movie, which picked up on a pretty interesting theory about the ending. But I know. But are you gonna talk about that in a bit, or?
Yeah, I was planning on talking about that when we were done with all the scenes everyone wants to bring up, because I think it might change point of views and stuff.
Yeah. Tagger, what do you think about the ending?
I thought it was an okay ending. I didn't fully understand it. Like, were they supposed to be trying to have some burial for her in front of everybody else, or is that her family trying to bury her, or what? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, hello.
No. Well, sorry, what did you say? I'm so split right now.
The question was, so towards the end of the movie, which I'm probably assuming is what Josef is talking about.
Yeah.
Towards the end where it's like they're burying her, or they're talking about burying her or something, with that and having that Mademoiselle lady read her eulogy, I figured they're trying to bury her for who exactly? Because I didn't really understand that part. Like, are they trying to bury Lucy and Anna, or are they trying to bury somebody else?
What movie did you watch? I don't remember this part at all.
No, neither do I.
Like, okay, let me rephrase the question. What ending are you talking about, Josef? Because the only thing that comes to mind in the ending is either the flashback when they're children, or when they're trying to, or when they're talking about having Mademoiselle read a eulogy.
I'm talking about the scene when the madam shoots herself.
Legit in the last few minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, I must have missed that part.
Okay. And on that bombshell.
Fuck you.
What?
Dare you call what I said a bombshell, even if it's true.
Yeah, I don't know what part you're talking about, to be honest.
It's fine.
Well, I'm pretty curious to hear about the ending. If there is some way to make sense of it, please try.
So, I was looking up about the movie and I found this review. And I thought it made a lot of sense. The classic definition of the word is a person who is killed because of their religious beliefs or other beliefs, and is often admired because of it. In the context of the film, Martyrs takes on a more simplistic meaning from the Greek word martus, a word that means a witness or a spectator. Also, a martyr here is alive, one who has witnessed something and still is alive. Else there is no proof of witnessing. Meaning, like, the first thing I thought when they started talking about this, like, look at the eyes. They mean that she is in between life and death. She has seen the other side. She knows what's going on. Leading to kind of like the other part. This is straight from this review. So it's not my words, but I thought it makes sense. Imagine you were just being... No, retake. 1, 2, 3. Imagine you were just beginning to watch the movie Sixth Sense, and someone told you the film's ending twist. Suddenly, you don't find the urge to watch the film anymore. There is an apparent loss of purpose. Similarly, imagining you were at a casino, someone guarantees that you will win nothing through the day. Suddenly, you lose the urge to be in the casino and gambling. That's exactly the same thing as Mademoiselle feels when Anna tells her what's on the other side. So, when I look at the scene, I see a woman who... she has no hope left. She has no meaning to go on and live. That's why she kills herself. Because Anna tells her, this is what's going on the other side. It doesn't have to be, oh, you go to heaven, everything is fucking great, everything is magical, unicorns shitting rainbows. Or hell, where you get fucking stabbed up the ass with something because you did that really bad thing once in your life. It's like
that potty mouth, though.
Really, she doesn't have a reason to live. That's why she kills herself. That's pretty much what I have to say. And the way this writer puts it, I do agree, like, that's probably the reason, because as she says, like, okay, you go to a casino and someone tells you you want to win anything through the day. And we say that that's life. I don't think anyone would want to go through life knowing that I won't accomplish anything, I won't make anything of myself, I will just die as a loser. Like, if that makes sense. I don't know if it makes sense, but yeah. And this cult has like been existing for how many years? And
17 years.
That's probably more than 17 years if you're gonna look at the pictures.
Well, they said, one of the characters says that for 17 years we have tried blah blah blah.
Yeah, but it's back when they capture Anna. In these 15 years, they have become...
Lucy.
No, Anna. They are talking about what's going on.
Okay.
The
Sorry,
book
my
part,
bad.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
They're like, 15 years ago, we have been looking for her for 15 years, she got away, blah, blah, blah. But during these 15 years, we have become better, which they have. Considering the basement and everything, more structures and whatever. So I mean, like, Lucy is Anna is the fourth, I believe, person to be a witness.
Yeah.
Or a martyr.
The first one who has spoken. After her witnessing.
Yeah. I don't know if it changed anyone's mind or whatever. It's what I found. I thought it made sense last night, but hey, I might have been too tired because I was looking at it at 4 a.m. But it's like, and the reason to why she kills herself is, like, she tells him, keep on disbelieving or something.
Keep doubting.
Yeah, keep doubting. It's like, and then she blows her own brain out. It's kind of like if she would explain or tell anyone about it, that it would probably become a mass suicide rather than just her killing herself. But the problem here, she also leaves the cult to continue, which also is bad.
That's something I didn't think about. That's a pretty interesting point, to be honest.
Well, but if it is true that she no longer cares about life, why should she care about the rest of the cult?
Yeah, that's also an interesting point.
Wait, what did you say? Sorry, I'm so...
If she no longer cares about life, why should she care about the rest of the cult?
That is a very good point. I didn't think about that. Thank you.
I mean, it's an interesting theory, and it makes sense.
It's just a theory, it is, but the theory made very much sense. So yeah, how, like, you can twist and turn it however much you want. You can make it how deep you ever much you want, but I believe it's all up to person to like what they believe, because they don't really give a solid answer on the end or anything. They kind of leave the viewer with, and now?
Okay. Should we go into background? Or does anyone have anything more to say about the movie?
No, I think has said everything.
Tiger? Hello?
You sleep, Tiger? Okay, he died apparently. We're just a three-man podcast from now on.
I guess that means he's done.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Yeah.
No, I just had to step away for a minute.
Do
Sorry.
you have anything more to say about the movie, Tiger?
No, nothing more to add.
Okay. So, background.
Yeah, I was double checking if I missed something, but that was from a Serbian film, not from Martyrs.
Okay.
There's not really a lot of background that I can find, but I have budget, I have Anna and Lucy been in otherwise, and that's about it. Well, it's a French movie that we know. Budget was on like I don't know how this is counted out, but 6,500,000. That's how good I am.
$6.5 million.
Thank you. That's how good I am with math. Anna, I'm gonna butcher the name. Also, the actress's name is Morjana Alaoui. Butchered. She's also been in a few major movies, but I think they're more major in like France. Lots of drama. Broken, Special Forces, and Maroc. Actress playing Lucy, Mylene Yamponi. She's been in Hereafter, and I couldn't find they didn't have an English name for it in IMDb, so I just like fast translated the Swedish one to Life After This. Might be wrong, might be right, I don't care. She's also been in 36 Quai des Orfèvres, some French series, and Valley of Flowers. Besides that, I don't have anything more because I couldn't find anything more. Anyone else?
Okay.
No, I don't have any background or trivia.
Okay. Tagger?
No, I don't have anything either.
Alright. I got a couple of things. The movie was a French-Canadian co-production. The director Pascal Laugier directed the 2012 movie The Tall Man, featuring Jessica Biel, who was in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake from 2003 and Blade Trinity from 2004, I think it came. Pascal's only acting credit is in the 2001 fantasy action horror mashup Brotherhood of the Wolf, which is a French produced movie. It's quite good. You should check it out. The girl who played Lucy, Mylene Yampanoi's father is Chinese and her mother is French. Did anyone else think that she looked a bit Asian?
Slightly,
Yeah,
yes.
Now that you minute it, yeah.
Yeah. Pascal Laugier has stated that he was inspired by Hostel, the Eli Roth movie from 2005. But instead of making a movie about suffering, he wanted to make a movie about pain. And he has confessed that he wrote the screenplay for the film in a state of clinical depression, bordering on suicidal thoughts, which is why the film is said to have a nihilistic and depressing subject matter. The Blu-ray copies of Martyrs have been discontinued in Region 1, which is in America and parts of Asia. And the last thing I got is that it has been the movie has been associated with a new French extremity movement, which is a term coined by art forum critic James Quant for a collection of transgressive films by French directors at the turn of the 21st century. Other examples of the new French extremity movement are Basez-moi, which means fuck me, from 2000, and Haute Tension, which is released as I think it was released as High Tension in the States and as Switchblade Romance in Europe, at least in Sweden. from 2003, and that's all I got.
Yeah, the part about writing it during depression was something I know I read, but I wasn't sure if it was from a Serbian film or from Martyrs. So that's why I didn't bring it up.
All right.
But yeah, I believe that's... fuck, I lost my... lost my notes. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I think that's it actually.
Yeah. Let's do a wrap around.
Yeah.
So...
That sounds a lot dirtier in my mind than what you meant for it to be.
Pardon?
That sounded a lot dirtier in my head than what you meant for it to be.
You're just like...
I
such a perv today. Christ.
I am. Well, since when am I not a perv?
Yes, only today. Anyways, so
David's
this...
been on a roll today.
So this has been Near Dark Podcast episode 8, Martyrs. And stroke.
And
Shut up! Fucking asshole! Today's pick was my pick. If you didn't notice, I'm sure you did. I talked too much.
no way.
Fuck you!
I'm sorry, I don't roll that way.
No, I like you anyways, it's okay. And next episode we are gonna do a double-sode on Halloween and Halloween 2.
From 1978 and 1981.
Thank you. Due to the upcoming new Halloween movie. Joseph?
Yeah, it's just called Halloween. It's a direct sequel to the original 1978 movie.
Yeah, it's like, haven't they said like Halloween 40 years later or something like that?
Yeah, it's basically that concept. Jamie Lee Curtis, who had the main role in the original, will return as the same character, and I can't remember what his name is, but the guy who played Michael in the original will return as Michael in this as well. And John Carpenter returns as a producer, and I think he's doing the music for this one as well. So I'm really hyped for that one.
Yeah, so we will probably all look forward to that.
And I will announce my pick on the next show as well.
Yes, we are doing a Halloween special since Halloween is coming up around the corner. So we will see you in the next episode.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Whenever that may be.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.